So hi, this is Charlie Calvert. Let's talk a little bit about GitHub. Right here is what the site looks like before you're logged in, and you would either create an account or you would sign in. So now you can see I am signed in to GitHub here. And once you're inside of GitHub, you have a number of options. You can see I'm a fairly heavy user of GitHub, and I've got a number of repositories here. But if you wanted to, you could create your own repository. And you would do that by clicking the green button here, New Repository. And it pops up this dialog here. And you could go ahead and create a repository. We'll call it prog 270-calvert 2013, or we'll even do it better than that. We'll do 2013-10, which is for this month. Now I'm going to make this a public repository, and I'll go ahead and initialize it with a README. Now sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. It depends. We won't put a git ignore in here for now, and we're not going to put a license in here for now, but we could do that later. So I'll go ahead and create the repository. So now I've got a repository, and all it's got is a README file in it with a little default text in here. And so it shows me the README file, and it actually shows me the text. As you can see, the README file uses Markdown format here for us to work with. Now, we might want to get a copy of our repository on our computer. And the way to do that here would be, in our particular case, is choose Clone on Desktop. And I'm going to say Launch Application. Now, in your case, launching application might involve an install. But for me, I'd already had the GitHub GUI installed, and so all it did was launch it. And you can see right here that it's automatically added my repository to it. And in fact, it even downloaded it for me. And so that I can see the README file here and find it on my system here. Now, if I go to Tools, I can choose Open in Explorer. And I can find my repository. You can see that it's in the My Documents GitHub directory, which is where it would be put by default. And you can see that there's a sort of hidden directory here called .git, which is we're not going to talk about right now, but that's where all your initialization and all your documentation, your configuration files are stored in there, and a local copy of the repository. I'm going to open up the README file. I'm going to edit it in Notepad++. Let me bring it open to Notepad++ in the other window. So I'll bring that over here. And you can see here's a little bit of the default text that was placed in this README. And I will add a little more default text into here. And then I'll save that work, and I'll go back to the repository itself. And what I'll do in the repository is that it says there's some uncommitted changes here. So I say show, and it shows me my changes. It says, you can see in green, here's the new text that I've added. There's little plus symbols of it in front of it. And they say, what is your commit message? And I'll say, adding text to my README. And then I'll press the commit button. And now, so I've gone ahead and committed it. And then what I can do here is press sync this branch, which will sync it up with the master up on the web. So I'll go up onto the web now, and you can see right now we've got this text. But in theory, this has been updated. So I will press my refresh button, and we'll look at it, and lo and behold, here's the text that I have added to it. So that's your basic use for GitHub. GitHub is a source code repository, and right now we have one file in our repository, and we showed how to edit it. on our local machine and to upload that to the server. So that's all I'm going to show in this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Charlie Calvert, Elvenware Video. Thank you. Bye now.